What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Ethan's Exotic Escapades. Today we are going to go to Carolina Aquatics. They're having their annual open house, and we're going to be meeting Todd over there. It's going to take about 4 hours to get there, so I had to wake up really early because it's all the way in North Carolina. Before we get started with this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe, and I'll see y'all there.
All right, we finally made it here, and I met up with Todd. We're about to go check out this awesome place. You can see it right behind me. This is in Kernersville, North Carolina, and I've even got my own lanyard right here. All right, we're gonna go check it out. I'll see y'all in there.
When we first walk in, we're greeted by this where we could take a little picture, and we realize just how big this place is. I'm gonna try my hardest to show as many fish and aquatics that I can, but there were just so many. Here's another shot so that y'all can see just how big this place is. I mean, it looks like it goes on forever. Here's the first tank of today. These are albino heckelii cichlids. Next up, they have some assorted discus. In this tank, they had Chili rasbora tetras. In this tank, we have our first plecos of today. These are the Colombian zebra plecos. Next to them were these platinum Xingu royal plecos. And of course, they had a lot of people's favorites, the clown plecos. I found this tank with these fish, which I am probably about to butcher their name, red band ventuari leperinus. They had a bunch of cory, and these are the Garryi cory catfish. They also had apistogramma or tegi cichlids, which are these guys. Then this was one of my favorite plecos that I found. These are mango plecos. I love the little highlights on their fins. They of course had a bunch of different angelfish. These were Altum Rio Vichata angelfish. And then I found some more assorted discus. So here's a better look at those guys. And they had some Peru spotted Altum angelfish. Then I found these Orinoco snowball plecos, which are another very beautiful species of pleco. They also had some little baby yo-yo loaches. And then these really cool super swartzy cory catfish. They had some jaguar hippostomus plecos as well. Right next to those were these honeycomb hippostomus plecos, which I thought also had very cool patterns. Here are some blood red tiger plecos. And then right beside those, they had hundreds of these blonde African dwarf frogs. Then I found these albino blushing angelfish, which I've never seen before. And these are duplicaris cory catfish. Then I found this tank that had these very small fish at the top. These were called half-beak celebes blackfin fish. Moving on to these freshwater eels, they had some gold tulip eels. These are some Stiphodon blue neon gobies. And then you can barely see these guys there, right there at the bottom. Those are Siberian tiger loaches. In this tank, this fish was pretty cool. They had a couple of them in here, and these are African leaf fish. They actually do look kind of like a leaf. They, of course, had even more of these African dwarf frogs. These ones are just the normals. These are called orange hatchet danios. You can see them, they move pretty fast. In the tank right beside those, they had a whole bunch of these rose danios. They had these Rosalind sharks in one of another tanks that they had. Then I found these really cool fish. They're called Marginatus pencilfish. After that, I found one of my favorites, the black ghost knifefish. And these look very cool. They also had different species of algae eaters. These are the platinum algae eaters. They even had some freshwater pufferfish. These are Congo spotted pufferfish. And then I found this tank, and it was full of assorted angelfish. Here are some stir-by Cory catfish. And then another freshwater pufferfish. These are topaz pufferfish, and they are a little bit bigger than the ones we saw before. Here are some red cherry Madagrasso tetras. They even had some azul peacock bass, otherwise known as blue peacock bass. They had a whole bunch of these autosynclus galaxy catfish. They also had a different species of pencilfish. These I actually like better than the other ones. These are the barred pencilfish. And how could they not have neon tetras? They had a whole bunch. These are cardinal Brazilian tetras. Then I found this pool that had these wild ornate bichers inside of it. They had this tank that had a whole bunch of coolie loaches in it. They were going absolutely crazy. Here are some wild Ilha do Marajo Oscars in this tank. Then I found this tank that was filled to the brim with these Serpe tetras. Then I got to a bunch of tanks that had a variety of different shrimp species. These are freshwater shrimp, as well as some really cool crabs. And these crabs were really cool. They were called Thai micro spider crabs. On the other side, they had even more shrimp. But on this side, they didn't just have shrimp. They also had these blue lobsters and some assorted colored lobsters, but they're actually not really lobsters. I don't know why they call them lobsters, even though they're not. They're actually crayfish or crawfish. But for whatever reason, they still call them lobsters in the pet trade. So that's an interesting little fact. And the shrimp just kept coming. I mean, there was another section that had even more of these freshwater shrimp. So I've got to show you all these guys too, because there were some different colors in these as well. These are the blue diamond right there, and those are very vibrant colors. And they had red cherry ones as well. And then here's some mixed. And then they had some freshwater snails. As I kept walking down, I found this little area right here, and this is where they take care of all of their plants that they have for freshwater. And I thought that this was a really cool little system they had. Next up are these really weird looking fish. These are actually catfish, and they are called glass catfish. Then I found these fish that were also clear, but they were called hatchet pygmy myersai. Then we got to some gouramis, which they had a huge variety of these guys. These are fire dwarf gouramis. They also had rainbow fish here. These are New Guinea red rainbow fish, and here's some other rainbow fish. Another thing that they had a huge variety of here, which I was very surprised, were these glowfish tetras. I mean, they had so many different colors. I mean, they literally had a whole row dedicated to these glowfish tetras. Every single color. Then I got to some tiger barbs. Not only did they have regular tiger barbs, they had 3 different kinds of glowfish tiger barbs, which I didn't even know they had those. Then I found these guys, and they were called yellow jacket cichlids. Never heard of those guys before. They also had so many different severum species. These are the orange shoulder severums, and they were stunning. They also had parrotfish. These are their yellow parrotfish. Here are some gold spangle Trinidad pike cichlids, which I thought were pretty cool. And I found some more freshwater eels. These are Burmese black spot eels, and I had to get them on camera because I love eels. They also had so many different guppy species here. These are the miracle guppies. Here's another tank I saw that had a whole bunch of bala sharks in it, like a whole bunch. Here's another one of my favorites that I found, and they had a whole bunch of them. These are clown knifefish. Here are some red hook yellowfin fish, and I thought they looked pretty similar to silver dollars. Then I found these weird shiny looking catfish, and they're called aluminum catfish. I've never seen these guys before. They also had giant danios. And then I found some spotted pictus catfish, which are very cool little catfish. Then I found these weird looking catfish that I've never heard of before. They're called the ompok catfish, and they looked very weird. Then I found these Rio piranha sphenai cichlids, which are a species of earth eater. After that, I found this tank that was full of assorted Oscars. They actually had 2 tanks that were full of assorted Oscars. They had these electric blue Jack Dempsey cichlids, which I didn't even know they had electric blue Jack Dempseys, but here they are. Then I found these very small fish that I could barely see. They look like a grain of rice, but they're actually called paradox fish. Here's a close-up so you can see them better. Beside those was another weird fish, and these are called whiptail catfish, and they have really weird long noses. Here are some of the false upside-down catfish that I found. And then I found these baby red-tail barracudas. I could not believe how tiny these guys were. They are so freaking adorable. And here are my favorite loaches. These are the clown loaches, and they had a whole bunch of clown loaches. This next tank had a whole bunch of little baby silver arowanas, which I love arowanas. Then I found some more pufferfish. These are bottomouth pufferfish, and that guy really wanted me to take them home. Next thing I found were these Guyana high-fin Pim catfish, which were long. Well, they were small, but they looked really lanky. Then I found this guy, which I nicknamed Tim, and he is a Wallago striped catfish. Here's another tank, and it is full of assorted gouramis. There were so many in here. And then I found a whole bunch of flower horns, which I really want to have a flower horn, but they are known to be aggressive, so typically they have to be by themselves if you're going to get one, but I like their little humps. Then I found some bigger fire eels. These guys were really big. I really like fire eels. They even had royal clown knifefish, and they had a bunch of them. Here's the other side of where they take care of their plants, and this is also the area where they'll bag up fish. Here are some paradise green dragon crown-tail gouramis that I found. Then I found these super weird catfish. They're called Loricaria kite catfish. They even had purple vampire crabs, which I actually didn't think they would have, but they do. Here are some baby Taiwan hill trouts. And then these freshwater crabs have a funny name. They're called pom-pom crabs. This guy was having him a snack. And here's some more. In this tank, there were some spotted golden loaches, which they were trying to hide from us, but I could see them anyway. After those guys, I found the shell dweller African cichlids, which if you don't know anything about these guys, they actually will hide in shells. The next thing I saw were these weird loaches, and they were sticking to the side of the glass, and I've never seen these before. These are called reticulated hillstream loaches, and I thought they were really cool. Next, I saw that they had a whole bunch of bamboo shrimp. They had 2 whole tanks full of bamboo shrimp. The next 2 tanks had African cichlids in it. These are the Aratus African cichlids, and right beside them are the Johanni electric blue African cichlids, which I like these guys a lot. They even had a whole row dedicated to assorted African cichlids. Here are some of their guppies. They had a whole bunch of tanks full of different species of guppies. They also had multiple different species of platies, as well as multiple different species of mollies. I mean, a lot of different species. Then they had a whole row of more shrimp, but majority of this was ghost shrimp. Then on the other side, they had a whole bunch of different species of freshwater snails, a whole row of these guys. Then they had some regular crawfish that filled up 2 whole tanks, which I thought was crazy. And below the crawfish, they had a bunch of different species of crabs that you can see right here, and in this tank as well. After that, we got to some of the bigger freshwater fish. This tank had big fire eels, some big royal plecos, and it also had big African arowanas in here as well. There's one right there. Next, they had these big super red severums along with these beautiful plecos that had the most pretty eyes. They're called blue-eyed pinake plecos. After those, they had a tank full of hoplo catfish, which I love hoplo catfish. The next fish species that I saw were these assorted African peacock cichlids. And then I saw one of the weirdest and my favorite of the day fish, and these are elephant nose fish. They have really weird looking snouts. Well, they're really their mouths. Next up were some more bichers. These are giant Congo bichers, and they were just piled on top of each other. They love to lay on each other. They also had tadpoles there. I'm not sure what these were going to turn into, but they had them. Next up were these African spotted lungfish, and they actually had 2 of these guys. Here's one right here, and the other one is on the other side. Here's a good shot of the other one. And these guys can actually breathe air, which is pretty crazy. Beside those were the Asian swamp eels, and they had a couple of these guys in the tank, which I like them as well, and they were pretty big. Now we get to the saltwater fish. In the first tank, there were tail spot blennies and twin spot gobies. The next 2 tanks had wrasse in them. The first one had cleaner wrasse in it, and the second tank right below it had 6-line wrasse, which had 6 colorful little lines on it, and they were very vibrant. The next thing I saw was this tank with assorted damsels in it. Next, I found this tank with 2 different species of tilefish, the Orini and the purple. Then I found one of my favorite tanks that had a dog-faced puffer in it, and it had a bunch of baby lionfish in it, and I love lionfish. In this tank in the back, they had a whole bunch of black triggerfish. The next thing I saw were these angelfish, and they were flame angelfish. You can see how vibrant their colors are. The next two tanks had cardinal fish in them. The first one has pajama cardinal fish in it, and the second tank has this species of cardinal fish called bangai. This is a huge Achilles show tang that they had. And then this tank had a whole bunch of copper band butterfly fish. This tank was really cool. It had two different scorpion fish, and it also had some hogfish at the top, and there were also some clownfish in here as well, which I thought was pretty cool to mix all of those together. But they had them in cups to protect them. This next tank has some French grunt and blue line snapper in it. Then I found this tank that has long spine squirrelfish and spadefish in it. After that, I found this tank that's full of powder blue tangs. And then I found this eel, and I didn't even know you could have these, but this is a Hassie garden eel. They also had this area back here with the saltwater, even though it's not saltwater, where they kept all of the assorted goldfish that you can get. There's so many different species of goldfish, as well as the other side, which has koi, a whole bunch of different assorted koi species as well. The next tank I came to had a whole bunch of different clown species. There was maroon gold lightning, storm mocha, and maroon gold nugget clownfish in here. And there was a gold flake angelfish. And then I found this big guy, a spotted moray eel, and he was just chilling like a villain. This next area is where they housed a bunch of different species of fish. There were blue tangs, which are what are referred to as dory, as well as some other different species of tangs. And they also had some different species of angelfish in here with them as well. And here's a look at their smaller tanks. Here are some scooter blennies in this tank right here. I couldn't believe it, but you could also get orange toadfish here as well. Next are some high-fin banded gobies, and in the tank right beside them there's another species of goby. These are the Yasha high-fin gobies. Then I got to this area that had so many different species of clownfish that I have never seen before. I didn't even know there were so many different species of clownfish, but there were so many. I mean, they had a whole row of just clownfish here. And I tried to show each one of them, but I didn't get every single one because there was just so many of these guys. I do love clownfish. I'm not going to lie. The next thing I found was this series of enclosures that had a bunch of these dotty-back fish in it, and they were all vibrant colors. Here's a look at some more of their saltwater tanks. This one has some blue tangs in it. They also had black triggerfish, and in some of the others they had butterfly fish as well as some species of angelfish. Next, I start looking at these smaller sectioned off fish. This is a southern stargazer goby. They also had even more of those orange toadfish sectioned off over here as well. Next was this little meanie blue jaw triggerfish, and he was trying to splash me like crazy, but that actually made me like him. And here's a look at the other one so that you can get a good look at him. They also had a bunch of these little striped burrfish. There's one right there, and there's another one right here, and there's another one right here. This one's a little bit bigger, but they were so sweet. And here's my favorite saltwater fish of the day. This is a panther grouper, and he looked like he wanted me to take him home. He's so sweet. Here is a scrawled cowfish that they had here. Then they also had this big area dedicated to taking care of only coral. Above this tank were these cherry lottie groupers. and they had even more of these sectioned off areas. Once I got to the back, I found where they kept all of their sea urchins. They had a pretty good variety, and they also had some little hermit crabs. Another really cool thing that they had were these baby horseshoe crabs. Here are some other cool crabs they had. These are called pitho crabs. They even had a saltwater pool that was full of these cleaner shrimp. Then I found these sea anemones that had crabs living with them, and some of them had clownfish with them. Similar to the freshwater snails, they also had an area for the saltwater snails that had a whole bunch of different saltwater snails. Above them, they had a whole bunch of these chocolate chip starfish, which they get their name from their little chocolate chip points that are all over the faces of their body. I even happened to find this mantis shrimp, which I've always wanted a mantis shrimp too because they are really cool. Next, I saw these starfish, and they're called general starfish. Then they had multiple tanks full of these starfish. I'm not sure what kind these are because I don't remember, but beside them are these emerald crabs, which they had a lot of these as well. Above those, they had a bunch of little baby spider crabs. I've never seen a spider crab this small. They were so adorable. Another thing that I still can't believe they had were these little seahorses. These are lined aquacultured seahorses. And then finally, leaving it with a bang, I got a clip of this spotted stingray that somebody had just bought, and I managed to get a video right before they left.
All right, we just finished walking through the place, and it was awesome. We found so many fish. We saw so many different things. Todd just got a bunch of fish that he ordered from here because today they were having a sale for their open house. All right, we've made it back here at Aquatic Planet, and we're here with Todd. I don't know why I could not say that. I was having tongue twisters, but we are back from Carolina Aquatics, and we are going to show you an overview of what we got.
Todd, unfortunately,
Todd unfortunately peed his pants. So
just a little bit. It's not bad.
He was just really excited to see the fish that we got.
These are my water hyacinth for the pond. These are plants you need to have in order to breed koi fish. If you don't have these, you're probably going to have a really hard time. The koi fish breed, they lay the eggs in these roots. This plant has like little balloons on it, and they float on the surface, and they get about 14 to 16 inches in diameter. And the koi lay the eggs on the underside of them. Oh, these are Jack Dempsey's. I got some large Jack Dempsey's in because I've had several customers asking for them. Jack Dempsey's are fish that you can grow up with like-sized Oscars because they can actually defend themselves against the Oscars.
Blood parrot?
Yeah, blood parrot. These are galactic purple and starfire red blowfish. The root of this fish is a white skirt tetra and goldfish. Some of them are scaleless too. Yeah, they often get confused in there. This is another red tiger motobuns.
Next up, we have some assorted plecos. These are just some common plecos. Got a whole bunch of them.
Red tiger motobuns. Yeah, see, he's in good shape. So these guys are kind of like a largemouth bass, except for this fish will be orange and gold. Really, really pretty. And a little bit of kind of aquamarine is in there in their color. And this is a yellow blood parrot. Oh, these are bala sharks. Oh, that's the new one. I forgot his name. I think I bought 2 of them though. He's a wild caught, red spotted. Forgot his name though. He's got an odd name.
The Severum though.
He looks great though. He looks really good. He's super healthy. This is an Inulrita spotted Severum. I have never ever seen these before. So if you collect Severums, and I know a few of you guys do collect Severums, you can come in here and get one of this guy. Electric Blue Johanni. African Mbuna cichlids. Okay, this is an Adabapo Severum. This is like the big guy that I have in there. He has vertical tangelo color spots, and this is the only mouth brooding Severum that we know of. Good. Yeah, it's so much better to get them now because they've only been in the bags for what, about 5 or 6 hours?
Yeah.
Versus like 18 or 21 hours.
Yeah, had a super long drive. Bunch of assorted angelfish.
And they've had no stress.
Next up, we got this albino Oscar. It's a cute little guy. Here is the big version of that little Oscar that you got. This is what it will look like when he's full grown.
These are clown plecos. They only get 3 inches maximum. So if you have a 10-gallon tank, 5-gallon tank, these are excellent for a 10 or 5-gallon tank. I've had people all the time with small tanks wanting to get plecos who are going to get humongous.
Next up, we got these mystery snails. Next, we have some blue diamond shrimp. A bunch of these little guys in there. And next up, we have super red spotted Severum. Got 2 of these guys. Next, we have some more assorted angelfish. Here we have some neon tetras. Next up, we have electric blue acaras, which are actually Todd's favorite fish. Next, we have some spiky nerite snails.
Super red spotted Severum.
The second one. Next, we have these sunburst tetras. Very, very pretty. And then got some more shrimp. These are the red cherry shrimps.
It's not southern women, it's only if they're from South Carolina say it's shrimp.
All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. I want to give a big thanks to Todd for having us here, witnessing a little unboxing and aftermath of when we went to Carolina Aquatics. And I also want to thank Carolina Aquatics and their team for having the open house today, because that was awesome. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe to join the tribe. And I'll see you on the next one.